It is that time once again that we love and we wait for when we take a more analytical, closer look at the week's top news stories with our Powerhouse Roundtable.
And this Easter morning, we have a great one for you. Introductions first. Melba Pearson is the Deputy Director of the American Civil Liberties Union of Florida. She used to work at the Miami-Dade State Attorney's Office. Mary Lee Cancio is a Miami-based attorney and an activist in the Republican Party. Mark Caputo is a correspondent for Politico and writes the daily Politico Florida Playbook. And everyone is ready to, a little rumbling this morning? a little bit.
If we can, I want to begin by asking each of you about this extraordinary moment that we have seen, which has taken on a life of its own with Dr. David Dow being dragged off this United Airlines flight. Every time I see this video, Melba, I just kind of reel back and think to myself, how could they have done this? How could the police officer have followed some order to take somebody who has not committed a criminal act, drag him off the plane like this? How could a great American corporation allow this to happen? What are your thoughts?
You know, I viewed the video and much like everyone else found it very, very troubling. But also what I found troubling was, what do we use our police officers for? Because police officers are supposed to enforce criminal codes and intervene when there's a criminal act. This is a civil dispute. Basically, United said, can you give up your seat? And he said, no, that's not a crime.
He was sanctioned for it, I think, the police officer, right? Wasn't he sanctioned?
Correct.
He's been suspended.
But
Right.
you know, what was so troubling about that whole thing in the days to follow is that United and all airlines have this, we can oversell, we can treat our customers that way, and we've sort of accepted that, mostly because of the security issues with airlines, we've accepted that airlines can just treat us poorly.
Well, that happened to me last time I went to DC. I changed flights, I had paid for a first class ticket, and when I got to the airport, they gave me my ticket, and they called me and they said, oh, we need your ticket back. And they pulled it from me and they said, well, somebody else has higher priority than you, so we gave it to them. I just wanted to get home.
So you flew coach or
I
instead
flew
of
coach
first?
in a middle seat in the back, but I just wanted to come home in that earlier flight, so it happened. So in addition to a red eye, now they have black eye flights too.
Mark, let me trot out a theory on you. I think that part of the reason that we all have reacted the way we have to this is that we often kind of feel subliminally that we are pawns in the game, and that even if we play by the rules, something terrible and capricious can happen. And that seems to be exactly what's happened.
Newsflash, corporate America doesn't care about you, and the police state doesn't either. And now we have the perfect wedding of the two, along with the Orwellian stupidity of actually seating a man. At least in your case, they didn't seat you and then force you off the plane.
Yes.
It's just...
That was the biggest mistake.
Right, and I think what Glenna was saying is true, is that we're used to airlines treating us this way, but in part because who really wants to get on a metal tube, a missile with wings, and then go somewhere? They know that you're there because you have to be. That's the reason that a round-trip ticket to Tallahassee, for instance, costs $740. It's almost cheaper to fly to Rome from Miami than Tallahassee.
You know,
it's just...
Or Reykjavik now.
They do what they do because they can.
But you know, and I think if they had explained that they needed 4 seats for a sick mother, for a veteran, or for someone, but they needed 4 seats for their own crew.
Right.
And I think that's why some people said, no, I'm not giving up my seat.
Well, but the key here is all they needed to do, first of all, the officer shouldn't have dragged him off the plane the way he did. But secondly, all he had to say was, hey, United, ask the guy or the girl next to Dr. Dow. He doesn't want to give up his seat for $1,000, I'll give you $2,000.
Right.
Keep upping the price until somebody walks
And
off.
that's
It's
what
gonna
they
be
did. They
cheaper.
only did $800. Every time I'm offered that on a flight, I always say, give me a free round trip ticket, I'll be off. But they never do that.
Yeah.
So it's in part, they're able to be stingy with us because, again, they can.
Well, I see now that Delta is going to offer up to
Yes.
$9,800 if you get bumped and don't want to leave. So
Time to fly Delta.
And
Let's see what American does first.
Yeah, we are America's hub, though. So, and I think, didn't America buy United? I must maybe I screwed that
No,
up.
but they'll be able to shortly.
No,
We
it
need
was USA, I
producer.
think.
Can we
US
check
Air.
that?
Thank you, US Air.
all right,
Stay corrected.
let's move on to a really, not that Dr. Dow isn't serious, but a really important development this week in Miami-Dade County. State Attorney Catherine Fernandez Runnel Mary Lee charged a police officer an on-duty police officer with a serious crime. First time in her 24 years in office that she has charged a officer on duty for committing allegedly a criminal act. And this is in the shooting of this autistic schizophrenic man in North Miami about 9 months ago.
All you have to do is show the video. When you see the video, that clearly the man is laying on the ground with his hands up. I mean, he could not have been any more helpless, just
Right.
that, you know.
And also calling out, this is my patient, I'm a therapist, and he has a toy. He doesn't have a gun.
Who knows what made that cop shoot that
You-
person, but clearly.
You know what's so troubling about
It is
this whole
troubling.
case is that with nine months of an investigation. Melba, you worked in the state attorney's office
I did.
prior to this job. You were there when some of this investigation was done. So, you know, you have such perspective on this. Jonathan Alita, the officer, was far away from the scene where two officers were much closer and decided not to for the
And
various
told him
reasons.
not to.
And told him not
to.
to.
Yeah.
And so
Correct.
what I think the overarching question here is, because of the events, is this a political criminal charge?
And the Dade
Did
County
state
PBA
attorney-
says it was political.
Did the state
It is
attorney feel
political.
compelled to make a case out of Jonathan Alita because of all the others that have gone uncharged?
Well, of course, this is the first time in 20 years that an officer has been charged for shooting in the line of duty. However, I think in this case, you have a video, you have radio transmissions, you have an abundance of evidence that points clearly that this officer exceeded the scope of his duty, and he could have killed two people, both of which were helpless. So I think that the charge here was the right decision. I'm glad we're going to have a chance for clear and, we're able to go through the judicial process and have some transparency as to what happened. But we can't just leave it at just charging the officer. We have to do a review of how lethal force is used, how officers are interacting with people with mental and developmental disabilities, and do an overhaul of the standard operating procedures. Because charging an officer is great, but if we don't look at the policies, this
Right.
will happen again.
Actually, it's not great to charge an officer. It's very
Well,
sad.
Of course,
but-
of course. I don't
it's
rejoice in
right.
anyone being charged criminally. But the concept is everyone's, oh, wonderful, this officer's been charged. You can't leave it just at that. You have to look and prevent this from ever happening again.
Well, I think that's the advantage of having body cameras. We're talking about this more because there's just more video, more people have the capacity
And
to...
audio.
Yeah, they have a capacity to shoot video and to post it online. And I think it's not all police officers, it's very few, but we talk about white privilege, which as a white man, I must admit, I sometimes resent, but it's true. There's police privilege, where we are treated like second-class citizens because they have the guns, and as Mao Zedong told us, all political power comes from the barrel of a gun, and it's time to stop that.
On that note, let's take a quick break. We will be right back in 2 minutes with more. We are back with the roundtable. We just don't even stop during commercial breaks, but that's
real.
okay.
It's real.
Because we can't stop. We can't
All right,
stop.
a moment this week when the HUD Secretary, Ben Carson, and erstwhile Florida resident stopped in with Alonzo Mourning, who did a public-private partnership in this public housing. And on his visit and tour, got stuck in the elevator. And how ironic to many people, Mary Lee, that moment was, because that HUD budget is about to be cut pretty significantly, and this sort of sometimes is what happens when you don't have enough money in your buildings. Is that a stretch?
I think that he was in town. That's great that he was here in Miami. Secretary DeVos was in Miami. And
everything worked.
before. The Administrator McMahon
the
was in
stairs.
Miami. I think it makes for good conversation.
Well, I mean, and that raises the issue. I love the headline in the Miami Herald after this incident. What do you talk about with Ben Carson in a stuck elevator for 40 minutes? Apparently, they didn't talk about the budget for HUD, which has been cut by something like 17%, and a lot of money for housing projects and affordable workforce housing, like he was visiting, is going to be gone. Of course, he told the Herald, don't worry about it. Don't believe the budget numbers. We're going to make it work.
Well, that's the ultimate farce of our politics. You see it both at the legislative level, but certainly in Washington. There's the executive proposes and the legislative disposes. The governor, the president in this case, comes up with a budget with all of these cuts so you can make things kind of balance and steer more money to the military And what you're probably going to find is more status quo, despite what people said when they ran for office.
Well,
and got elected.
what Secretary Carson said was, don't worry about the budget for HUD because that housing money is going to be in the big infrastructure package. That's what he said.
Well, I mean, the fact of the matter is, I think this sort of served as a reminder of what everyday Americans deal with on a day-to-day basis, and that these cuts have impact, and that these cuts will destroy people's lives. So take note and bring that back to
Hey,
Washington.
I work on a building on Brickell Class A, and I've gotten stuck in the elevators, and we have.
I'm sure those
the
elevators
best.
are much more lovely than the ones in the,
it's
housing
not
project.
anywhere.
To your point,
Air conditioning, maybe some music.
To your point, then the next stop for the secretary was Liberty Square, which is coming down and
Right,
is the
exactly.
beginning of an urban renewal. But until now, and still now, there are people and families living in homes with bugs and mold and
Our
disrepair.
infrastructure is collapsing in this
Deplorable.
country. What we saw in Atlanta with
Yeah.
I-85 collapsing,
Well,
and
Liberty Square Rising is hopeful. Let's see what happens there. If we can, let's talk a little bit about TPS for Haitians. There are 58,000 Haitians in this country, most of them in South Florida, who are under protected status thanks to an executive order from President Obama. And now that's going to expire July 22nd. And Mark, I think the question is, will it be extended? And President Trump has given no indication. This week, I asked Governor Scott, who was in town, do you support extending TPS for Haitians? At first, he gave me a non-committal answer, so I asked him again. Here it is. Okay, here it comes.
You have the president's ear. You're friends with him. If you said, Mr. President, please extend TPS for the Haitians, might make a difference.
I'm going to do everything I can to make sure we're continuing to be a very welcoming state for all immigrants.
Well, that's about as non-committal as it gets. You're pro-immigrant, but you won't say whether you're going to support
But-
TPS for Haitians.
he met with a group of Haitians privately after that
After that,
interview.
yes.
And after that interview, what he told them is, look, we can continue to be extending this temporarily, or we can resolve the immigration issue. Put a proposal, send it to the president, and I'll do all I can. And that's basically what we have to do. The Dreamers, they're the same thing. They're in the same position. It's just temporary. We need permanent immigration reform in this country,
Well,
Michael.
but temporary protected status is for a very specific, either an act of war, earthquake,
hurricanes in Central
hurricanes.
America.
And so, right, and the Central Americans that were victims of a hurricane in the late 90s are still under recurring temporary protected status because of that. So if apples were to apples, why not re-up the TPS for Haitians because of the
18
disrepair in
months.
that?
Well, I think there's a certain amount of disingenuousness from the governor saying, oh, put together a proposal, we'll have Congress fix it. Congress cannot fix immigration reform because repeatedly, time and again, they failed to do it. Republicans, by and large, and I don't want to say both sides here, yes, there is some Democratic culpability because when Barack Obama was president, there was a Democratic House and Senate, he did nothing.
Right.
But since then, Republicans have been by and large complicit in killing immigration reform time and time again. Now you've got a Republican House, a Republican Senate, and a Republican president, and nothing's being done. They can't even repeal Obamacare, which they ran on repealing.
And I think this is a very key test for an administration that has had some anti-immigration stances. I mean, we saw this week, within the last week, that the president, felt so moved by these pictures of Syrian children, being affected. Well, hopefully that means he will change his stance and be welcoming to the Haitians who have fled tyranny, who have fled cholera disease. When they're repatriated, they are held in prisons with no release date. So they're basically sent back to Haiti to die. There's no infrastructure. So these are all the formula, all the ingredients for a horrible humanitarian
and-
situation.
But the Syrian children were not affected. They were gassed, they were murdered, which is completely different than a normal immigrant trying to get to this country.
Well, being repatriated and then dying in prison
I
is basically
also
murder.
want to point out
that context.
last September, President then candidate Trump went to Little Haiti. He met with a group of Haitian Americans, promised to support them, went to a rally, which I covered later that day at the Knight Center, and basically said, Haitians are amazing people. I love them. Hope they vote for me, and I'm going to help them. Well, here's a chance to
Hold him
help.
at his word.
To wed what the two of you said is that it's very important to get to President Trump and make that case. And that is going to be incumbent on the leaders in that community or the leaders of our state to make that case.
Right.
One thing I think we should acknowledge, the Associated Press did a fantastic series on the children of Haiti, at least 9 kids being raped by 135 UN peacekeepers.
Right.
By and large from Sri Lanka, but not only from Sri Lanka. It is just an example of the terrible suffering that the Haitian people overcome or deal with almost on a day-to-day basis. And that story has been under the radar, and we should at least mention it
It's
here.
not the only story under the radar. All the money also the Clintons and Clinton Foundation received to rebuild Haiti, and where did that money go?
We'll kind of
There's a
have
lot
to
of wasted
interrupt you,
money.
but we are out of
see a
time.
segment
But
in our
thank you
future.
all for coming in. A lot more to talk about, especially vis-a-vis Haiti. All
you.
right, the last of Miami's cocaine cowboys is now in custody, a quarter century since they launched their notorious legend that would become, eventually, Miami Vice.